Hey everybody, I just want to talk on success today. Everybody has their own level of it, but even the most successful people and the least successful people have three things in mind. One, they're mindful of the past. Two, they're aware of the present. And three, they're focused on the future. And what that means is they know how things have been done. They are aware of how things are being done and they're trying to figure out new ways of doing it that is better. From Elon Musk, Andrew Tatum, all these big fancy names on YouTube, they all have that in mind. Now, for me, I'm perfectly happy with my humble success of having a nice home, even though it's a work in progress. One day there'll be videos of it posted of me going through fixing it. And then I keep my house warm. I have food on my table. My dogs are kept nice. They have plenty to eat. They're kept clean. No fleas. They get to run around. They get to have fun. My cat, pestering is all get out. But she's still my little magpie. Now, with all this being said, to me, that is success. I have a warm home. My bills are paid. Yes, I still worry about tomorrow, but I'm not going to let my mistakes of yesteryear affect me today. I have drawn that conclusion by surrounding myself with other successful people. And because I've done that, I have learned what success is. Because you don't have to be a multi-millionaire to be happy. Success is finding happiness. But don't let that be misconstrued. Because there are people out there who claim that when they're on drugs, they're happy. And that's their level of success. Well, I hate to break it to you, but that's the level of failure. Because how can you keep advancing when you plateau? A person must never walk away from a struggle. When there's an obstacle, you must learn to overcome it. Because you want to aim for the top run of a ladder. But you're only wanting to go up 2, 3 runs away from it. The reason why you aim high is if you succeed, the sky is the limit. But if you fail, you know how much you can fail at before you truly do fail. If that makes any sense. So if you aim for the top run and you make it all the way up to the top run, well, now the ladder just got bigger. So you keep going. Well, you know that sixth run from the bottom run, that's the run you originally wanted. But you ended up with a run 27 runs up. So with that being said, you just fully succeeded. You blew things out of the water. But now the run breaks and you start to fall. You catch yourself on the sixth run. You're still not hitting the ground. You are not at rock bottom. So you have something you can continue off of. That analogy was given to me by a friend of mine up in Indiana. A friend of mine down in North Carolina gave me the advice of you never know what tomorrow brings until today is over with. A friend of mine down in Tennessee and in Indiana both uttered these words. And given 2 different times, they didn't even know each other. When today is over with, tomorrow is a new day. That means don't focus on the past. Work on the present and focus on the future. It took me several years just to figure this out. So these are just my thoughts on success. I've noticed it from the guy in North Carolina who does the septic tank videos, which honestly, I really like his work because he actually does talk from a down home perspective. he is successful in his own means. And then you have people who are really successful that, honestly, if you stripped them of all their wealth and gave them only a few dollars. Now, when I say this, I'm not going to name names. But if you strip them down to nothing, they are driven hard enough to rebuild their empire because they know what they want and they know how to take what they need. But then again, you have others that if you were to take their wealth, because they came from old money, they only know how to work with big numbers. They don't know how to work with the small. Anybody who's ever lived paycheck to paycheck knows how to make $5 stretch for a couple of days, even if they have to learn how to cook from raw source materials. So anybody who's ever lived paycheck to paycheck knows the success that the old money millionaires don't. Because they never had to worry about, is this bill paid or is this bill paid? So, right there, I hate to say it, but success is something that's metered by the individual, not by everyone. So, unlike what would be considered sane and insane, sanity being defined as what everyone perceives as normal, and those who are insane are the people who are abnormal, working outside of the construct. So, normal and weird. Kind of crazy, ain't it? But yet, success is defined by the individual and looked upon by the public. So most of the public may say, I am not successful. But I came from a poverty-stricken family who lost everything in a flood. I have overcame the state of Missouri in denouncing my own mental handicap. I have went to college when I dropped out of high school. I have graduated that college with honors. And I put hard work, blood, sweat, and tears into everything I do, even when I fail. But I learned from those mistakes. So now where I'm at, I came from a family that had nothing. A family that was an abusive, drunken father, neglectful mother. Emotionally, I know I'm not stable because I never had a good foundation. So I've learned a lot of wisdom. Now, for other people out there who are in similar situations as I, hold your head high and keep moving forward. Don't let last year, 10 years, 20 years ago affect you. Be mindful of it so those events do not repeat. Because I remember when I was a child, my whole family almost became homeless as a result of everything going on. And we pulled together our last bit of money to put a deposit on a house because our home was washed away in a flood. There are victims of circumstance, and then there's just victims. Now, a victim of circumstance can't control what's going on. I mean, we can't control Mother Nature. But then you have victims out there who cry over a word. Who cares? It's all a waste of breath. But when people actually are victims because they are injured, there's a circumstance leading to that. We can control about 70% of what goes on in our lives by our own decisions. So we have to be mindful of the past, of those previous decisions, aware of our current decisions, and focused on our future decisions. Sometimes a good idea only takes 1 foot off the ground to get it started and rolling. And then it's just keep going with it. Write it to the end. So, I hope these words may help somebody because it's a simple observation. And maybe, who knows, these words might change your life.